Welcome to Auto Uncovered, where the talent and I sort of get out our torque wrench and really do crank down very hard with lube on the wheel studs of the automotive industry. Adam Morris, what do you have for us today?
I'd like to talk about how tech is ruining cars. Simple as that. You?
I want to talk to us about how these, when companies release these bullshit surveys,
Yes.
42% of EV drivers say pink is better than chartreuse. You know those sorts.
I know them well.
It's this abhorrent three-way between the media and its advertisers and vested interests.
Yeah.
And you're in the middle, and you have to suck this up like it's a fact. So I want to talk about that, but we'll do you first, so to speak.
Okay. Okay, awesome. No, it was nice. I enjoyed that. That was lovely. Tech ruining cars. First of all, I think this is going to be a challenge for manufacturers because we've got a big divide I see forming between the West and China. So it's important to understand that Chinese cars and the Chinese market really prioritise technology. And there's a few reasons for this. Number one, they're still quite new to even having cars on as a mass market product or something to drive.
Yeah, for many of them, their last car was a tuk-tuk.
Exactly. So they don't have the same attraction to vehicle dynamics as we do. There's no sort of motorsport heritage going on.
Yeah.
The reason this came up, I showed a mate of mine and his partner recently a new car I had. And his partner is a Chinese guy and was saying, oh, the screen's really small and that's a bit disappointing in this particular car. And I made the comment going, I wish it didn't have a screen at all. And then that kind of got me looking into the research of this. And they are an extremely tech-forward country, obviously.
Yeah, sure.
The flip side is the West, where we're going, can we please have some physical buttons back? Can we please have less screens? Can we please have just more tactile things? I'm really intrigued to see what the manufacturers do with this, because China is obviously the most important market for them.
Some Chinese cars don't even have a dashboard. They've just got the centre screen.
It's all screen.
It's driving here and infotainment.
Yeah. What's getting scary is when the manufacturers, say Mercedes-Benz or BMW in the case that I'm about to bring up, obviously are leaning into the Chinese market because it is so important to keep them happy to sell cars in China and to the Chinese. BMW have a new feature that has happened where they can now send you advertisements through the infotainment system. Thank God BMW Australia have not opted for this. If anyone from BMW Australia is listening, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
But it's not as if they actually make any shot calls. You know what I mean? The head office in Munich could just say, you would do the advertising, and that'll just be how it is.
And look, I'm sure you can scroll through the millions of sub-menus in iDrive and turn that shit off.
No.
But the fact that a car can do it in the first place, I don't like that at all. And I also think there's so much emphasis on, it's got the latest tech, it's got this, it's got that. I wonder how many people out there, for that first 24 hours that you own the car, you're going to scroll through your menus and you're going to change your ambient lighting and you're going to go through all the bells and whistles. But then after the first 24 hours, surely
it's just a car.
You have your phone connect to Apple CarPlay, and that's it. And you just use Maps or Waze, Spotify, and that's about it, really. So I go, do we need all the superfluous bullshit? But then I talk to friends and they're like, it's got this and it's got that.
I love
the Tesla. The Tesla's got games and it's got fart noises and all these things. I'm like,
great.
I would rather have mechanical buttons that make a chink sound when you push the air conditioning on, when you slide the cold to heat. It doesn't even have climate control. It just has hot and cold, and you can
have
feel
a lever
something.
like in a locomotive, with the big detent, and you pull it. You've got to crank it. Really, but that might be an age thing. I'm not sure.
Well, I'm intrigued to see what happens because obviously the EU have legislated now that they've got to have tactile buttons for major operations. So I'm intrigued to see what that does with the tech thing. I also think it's going to be interesting to see what Gen Z do with this, because Gen Z, there's a big movement in terms of, film sales are up, CD sales are up.
Yeah.
Even in terms of cars, there's studies being done showing that, and I've seen it firsthand at events I've been to where, BMW had a bunch of M3s, something I did recently, and the Gen Z influencers were absolutely obsessed with the E46 M3 over the brand new G Series M3s. Because it feels tactile and there's hardly any text.
Yeah.
So I wonder if you've got this next market coming through going, we want buttons and we want less tech because we have so much tech in our lives.
This is the problem.
How are they going to balance this?
With this is the problem with the way these IT bros or these tech bros run the show. You know, that these tech assholes like Elon Musk keep talking about things like uploading your consciousness to the cloud and all of that. That sounds fine in theory. So you can upload your consciousness to the cloud at the moment of your death, right? Or just before your death. You upload your whole consciousness to some server farm owned by Elon or Bezos or someone.
Yeah.
And the only problem with that is when your relatives or the fans want to communicate with you, they'll have advertising.
Yeah.
Right? That's fucked.
Yeah.
That's fucked. And the other thing that's fucked is you used to buy a product, right? When you buy a thing, you buy a product.
Yes.
And now the company selling you that product actually sells you to a third party.
Yes.
Right? That's fucked.
Yeah.
Because I didn't buy a car to have some asshole advertise to me in that car. The car is actually one of the very few isolated spaces you can occupy in modern life. Like if you want to invoke airline mode in your phone, you can be cut off from reality.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Ambient, external, extraneous reality.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And now the brave new world of the future is, have you tried the amazing rest pillow?
Yeah.
You know, and you've never slept like this before. You haven't had your head on one of these, you know.
The other thing that shits me about this in terms of tech and features, there's now this push towards your car has the hardware in terms of, let's say, optional extras, right? There are plenty of circumstances where the actual hardware or the tech is in your car, but you have to pay to have it unlocked. I call bullshit on this. It absolutely shits me into tears.
Yeah, they're withholding functionality that exists.
If I'm paying $2,000 for, insert optional extra here, I want to know that someone at a factory had to bolt a piece of hardware to the car. There's something tangible that I'm paying for. I don't want to know that in my car, that bit of tech actually exists, but now I've got to pay to actually access it. That absolutely drives me insane.
Okay, I'm almost with you on that, but I think the car industry is having a lend because they're giving it to you from both ends. And I don't like being spit roasted by the car industry. I freaking hate that.
Yeah.
Because they're still expecting you to buy the car.
Yep.
And then they want you to subscribe to this functionality that's already there.
Yeah.
If they just want you to buy the car, then give me the whole freaking car.
Yeah.
Or I'll pay you a subscription. I'll sit down with the salesman and we'll decide which features I want and which ones I don't. And you can tell me how much for that. And I'll just subscribe to that car.
Yeah.
Like I'll pay a monthly fee.
Yeah.
No problem. But I don't want to buy it and subscribe.
No.
That's fucked.
Imagine buying a fridge, right? And then they go, oh, hey, if you want to use the freezer, which you can see, there's the freezer, it's there, but it's locked. You can't actually get into it.
Oh, you want to put vegetables in the crisper?
Yeah, no. If you want to use the crisper, well, that's $100 a month.
Ice maker? Sure.
I can see the crisper. It's there in the fridge, but I've got to pay a subscription to unlock the crisper.
You know what they call
joking?
that? You know what they call that in critical thinking? They call that an RAA sort of takedown, a reductio ad absurdum.
Oh wow!
Right?
Okay.
When you take something and you just reduce it, you extend it and reduce it to an absurd level. And it is exactly absurd when you think about it in the context of a freezer or a blender or a dryer. Oh, you want extra hot in the dryer. Or you want your jug to boil to actually get to 100 degrees C. I mean, it's just set at 80, but for $20 a month, we can give you boiling.
It's ridiculous. What's it called again?
Fuck off.
What is it?
Reductio ad absurdum. It means you've reduced the proposition to a point of absurdity.
I'm pretty sure that's a Harry Potter term, isn't it? That's how you turn a frog into an elephant.
It could be one of those incantations.
I wasn't sure.
You want to be careful about using it then, won't you?
No, this level of tech, again, it comes back to what I was saying before, but how many people are actually desiring this? It shits me that it's almost product for product's sake to sell the car as well. It's almost like the car company's going, well, let's just keep throwing more and more shit at it to make it like more things must be better, which I don't think is the case.
No, it's not. People think that choice is about freeing you up, but it's not. It's like the classic example is if you're on a diet, right? They're confounded every day. If you're an office worker and you work in the city, you walk outside, there's 400 different lunches you can buy.
Yeah.
Right? You don't need that. You need one.
Yeah.
You need the one that's going to make you less of a fat bastard.
Yep.
Right? And so less choice is actually an advantage. If you've got your lunch in a box
Yeah.
and you prepped it 5 days ago and you just eat the same lunch every day, Steve Jobs is a classic example of this. He used to wear the black turtleneck thing just because it took cognitive bandwidth away. It gave him more available cognitive resources because he didn't have to decide, negotiate about what to frickin' wear.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to decide what colour the ambient lighting is for my fucking car because I don't care about it. Just make it, I don't know, not terribly frickin' you can't stop the music.
Yeah. Not too garish.
Not too kaleidoscope wouldn't be my first choice.
Yeah.
But if it's blue or green or red, primary or secondary colour will be fine,
But the other reason tech is ruining cars is because it's more and more complexity and more things to go wrong. And we've seen this with Redriven, the amount of times where you'll have a door that now has ambient lighting, has some cooling function, has the seat controls, it's got blind spot monitoring, it's got cameras, and there's all this stuff, right? Yeah. But then you have one of those modules go down. Like we had a car recently where if the ambient lighting fails, which it does, it then takes out the entire car's air conditioning. And it also takes out the blind spot monitoring. But because the blind spot monitoring goes, that's part of your active safety systems. So then the active safety systems have a massive freak out. So we're now into this world where theoretically cars should be more reliable. And if you're in the market for a brand new car, you're going, well, I'm buying brand new instead of used because it's more reliable because it's a brand new car. That now isn't the case because there's so many things that can go wrong. There's so many computers talking to each other. You're putting all these computers in a space that vibrates, experiences moisture and heat and coolness. Like cars are not a fun place for a computer to live.
But they also can't predict when the complexity spirals out of control in that way. They can't predict all the failure modes.
No.
So essentially, when things get too complex, you can't figure out how they're going to fail. So you put it out in service and roll the dice.
Yeah.
Right. And the benefit, like the trade-off, is there when you've got something complex like electronic fuel injection. That's more complex than carburation, but they did the R&D properly on that and they've had it in service for decades now and it's more reliable now than carburetors were, right? And in any case, the benefit was there because it delivered more response and more power and better fuel economy and all of that stuff. Is there an advantage to having all of that superfluous shit, the 4,000 different colours and
so stupid.
Do you need something that remembers your shopping list or all of that stuff is just insane and hardly anyone's ever going to use it anyway because for most of it's still just a car.
Then there's another aspect of this which is the manufacturers that offer so much of this tech, they know that most of their customers are probably leasing the car, or especially if it's the more premium stuff, though 90% plus of their customers are going to just only own that car for that 5 to 7 years until their lease runs out or the new one comes out. So then they know if you've got the overwhelming majority of your customer base is only going to be in the car for, say, 3 to 5, at most 7 years. Well, why would you spend all the money researching and developing all of this tech to actually last 10 to 15 to 20 years? Why? It wouldn't bother. It would cost millions of dollars to do that.
Yeah, I think we're past peak car.
Yeah.
To my mind, at least, we're past peak car. That was probably about 10 years ago, I think, maybe 12 or something.
Yep.
Peak car.
Yep.
Cars were less annoying then and they had good tech in them. And
I'm really intrigued. Please write into us. Write to questions at autouncovered.com.au.
Use a carrier pigeon.
I want to know how many people genuinely go, thank God I've got 35 sub-menus in my infotainment system that I can now operate every single day.
As much as I love my smartphone, I love having a supercomputer connected to all of the world's sum total of knowledge everywhere, 24/7. That's like amazing to me.
Yeah.
But probably 95% of it I don't use.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what half of the apps are for. And I don't, and more than that, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Shall we do a question?
Let's do a question. If you have a question,
questions at Auto Uncovered, or just make it up. It'll get to us. We don't give a shit. But it's probably best if you do use questions at autouncovered.com.au and try and make them broad spectrum, something that others can relate to. That'd always be nice. Who have you got?
Well, the other option is just wander out in your driveway and yell at Yell your question out really loudly.
Yeah, or if you really resonated with that last segment, you hate the technology, get your quill, write a little question paper, find a pigeon, strap it to its leg and see what happens.
Tim would like to know how many cars and how much time is required to know if a product is reliable. Should you ever buy the first generation of a product, or is there just as much risk with buying second generation straight out of the gate? That's a great question.
It is. It's pretty complex.
Yeah.
So there's more risk inherent in buying the first generation of anything.
Yes.
That's just how this works because of what I just said about they can't know all of the failure modes. No. And car makers are legitimately blindsided at times by some of the shit that goes wrong once they've deployed the first model. And it's hard to blame them for that because they build in these features that people demand, seemingly, and then shit happens and they've got to pick it up. But usually the vast majority of running fixes go in first, initially, and then, I don't know, you don't have to buy the second generation of the product, but it's probably a good idea to wait 6 to 12 months.
I think it also comes down to who's manufacturing the car. So I know, obviously the Toyota are famous for their way of manufacturing where anyone, like the cleaner, can stop production if they can work out a way to do something better and more efficient, make the car better. So with Toyota and actually quite a few of the EV-centric brands, they're constantly improving the car. So it's, rather than having one major update, there's always this room for improvement.
I think all car makers are constantly improving the cars because they do running fixes all the time.
Yeah. There are those ones, although, that will be, here's a major update.
Except Land Rover and Jaguar.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, there are the other ones where, I don't know, just let that shit still fly out the door.
It's like,
and then we'll sort that out in 6 months' time when we do a major update. I think as well, it's what is regarded as unreliable. I'm going to use Porsche as a great example here. They're renowned for having, in the 996 and 997 911s, renowned for having bore scoring and IMS failures with the engines.
Yep.
But when you actually look into it, it's about 3%. I think at most, worst case scenario in some countries, it was like 7%.
Yeah, so we're never talking about certain death. What we're talking about is a low probability, high consequence pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So is it worth, the tail end of that question is it ever worth buying the first generation, like I'm going to pass that as a newly released car. Like all these people jumped in to buy the Shark 6, right? I don't think they've been disappointed.
No.
The Shark 6 has been deployed pretty favourably. I'm not aware of any widespread Ford power shit transmission-esque issues with Shark 6. There are some operational characteristics that don't suit everyone, I'm sure, but that's not the same thing as a defect.
No. I think as well, when you look at the Shark 6, if you look at that engine and that hybrid system, they've both been around for a bloody long time.
Yeah.
There's something we found really interesting when we did the GWM Cannon and also the Tank 300. All of those engines, especially in the Tank, that engine's used in millions of forklifts and cranes and commercial equipment.
Yeah, so they've got this huge library of operational this and that database of how that engine performs in various different scenarios, and that's safer than something that's absolutely just a clean sheet.
Yep.
And the other thing about GWM that really shits me about the way Australians think about the car market, right? Because there's Muzz and Trev are all thinking about, I don't trust those Chinese cars, right? Like this, right? And I'm going, that's like saying Suzuki and Toyota are the same thing. Because GWM, to give it its credit, it's been here for 17 frickin' years or something. That you'd want to get some credit for being here for nearly 2 decades. And I remember when I was a host on Radio 2UE in about 2014 or something, it was some year like that, so a significant time ago, they had a bit of a scandal about asbestos in the head gaskets, right? And it was such a storm in a teacup because how often do you pull the head off?
Yeah.
Right? And then you'd have to grind it with an angle grinder to liberate the particles. And so it was a big nothing burger, but the word asbestos is like nuclear waste in Australia kind of thing. And I get that too, but they dealt with that pretty ethically robustly. They fixed the problem. They sort of did it quietly. They copped the knee in the nuts that they got for the asbestos component, but it's not like they were corporate assholes about it.
No.
Whereas there are a lot of Chinese car makers that are just unknown at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And so I think you got to say from a risk management point of view, it's different buying a GWM than buying a Zeekr, for example, or a GAC. And I'm not implying that Zeekr and GAC are shitheads or they're just unknown.
Yeah.
So let someone else be a lab rat there, whereas you know what you're getting with GWM to an extent, and you know what you're getting with MG. They've been here for 11 or 12 years now, whatever it is.
A long time.
A long time.
Yeah.
So, all Chinese car makers are not equivalent, and it's worthwhile noting that in your calculus about when to jump in and buy one.
I think it's also important to understand they're all multicultural. Like Volvo, even when they were still being made in Belgium or wherever, they were still using a lot of components that were made in China.
Sure.
Mercedes-Benz, insert car company here, they're getting parts from all over the world.
Take out the bits from your life that originated in China.
Oh my God.
You'd be sitting here with no pants. It'd be like getting back in the XR6 last week.
Yeah, I think I still want to know what happened with that.
I'll tell you when we cut the camera.
I think even for the Chinese vehicles, like we're seeing now, entire design teams are from Italy or somewhere in Europe, and then the development team might be from the US or the UK. So I don't think it's funny. It's a Chinese brand in terms of it's owned in China, but in terms of who's making the car and who's developing and engineering it, they're from all over the world, and that's the same with every single brand. So I don't think there inherently is. I don't know. I couldn't imagine there's one single brand that is okay. Well, all of these people are from that country, outside of like Koenigsegg or Pagani or someone like that.
Something irrelevant.
Yeah, something crazy.
So just to wrap this up and make it as relevant as we can to Tim, the best advice is that people they jump in to buy the shiny new car, not generally because they need a new car, but because they want to be one of the first people to be seen in it. And if that's really important to you, then okay, but just suck it up, because that's the riskiest iteration of that purchase decision.
Yeah.
And if you can just not be the first guy and just wait 6 to 12 months and then just keep your ear to the ground, then that's probably safer.
Yeah.
But it's rare for 10% of customers to have problems in any case.
Exactly right. I totally agree.
So let's talk about the horseshit way that companies comport themselves when they get into a three-way with the media and various research. Do you like that?
I like that. That's lovely. For anyone purely listening, Mr. Cadogan has gone and done research. I'm looking at
it's amazing.
Is that 3 pieces of A4 paper?
It is 3 pieces of paper.
With a lot of writing on them.
And
good size font.
You normally, this is just a headline, right? Media release. Plugged in but underprepared. Allianz research uncovers the EV learning curve.
Are you aware that I love that you go from your normal voice into your YouTube voice. It's seamlessly. I really enjoy it. It's like a chapter's opened. I'm like, oh, here we go.
He's in here.
Yeah, is that? Do you know you do that?
I cohabitate with him.
Okay.
Right. He's in here. We have these chats. They usually go like. I'm sort of holding. I think I'm holding the reins. Who would know? But I'm kind of going, dude, you can't fucking say that. And he's going, yeah, I can.
I feel like I need I need an alter ego. I feel I need to create some sort of other Adam.
I didn't create this. It just freaking happened one day. It was as shocking to me as it is to the audience.
Let's hear it again.
Media release plugged in but underprepared. Allianz research uncovers the EV learning curve.
I love it.
So this was a press release from, yesterday. Sydney, Australia, 5th of August 2026. Allianz EV policy quotes have increased by approximately 66% year on year, reflecting Australia's growing shift towards electric vehicles, despite 68% of EV drivers saying they felt prepared to make the switch from a traditional engine vehicle. Many still encountered unexpected challenges behind the wheel of their EV, including feeling nervous driving around pedestrians and cyclists due to EVs' quieter operations, 42%. Feeling concerned about adjusting to instant acceleration, 35%. Touchscreen distractions, 21%. Charging issues, 19%. And running out of battery earlier than expected, 18%. To help Australians feel EV ready, Allianz is encouraging new drivers to take the time to understand EV-specific features, charging technology, and adapt their driving techniques. Now, Allianz has this dude, Chris Wood, right? He's the Emerging Risks Manager at Allianz Australia.
Wow.
Imagine being that.
What a title.
Yes, you'd have to have a business card that was horizontal. You couldn't have one of those portrait ones.
No.
Your title wouldn't fit unless it was 4-point.
Maybe he puts it around the spine.
Yeah. He's quoted here. I'd like to go out to dinner with him.
Yep.
More Australians are choosing, he doesn't sound like that, electric vehicles driven by factors such as wanting to avoid rising fuel costs and taking advantage of incredible advances in technology that EVs can offer. What are those incredible advantages in technology?
Yeah, I don't know if they're... Yeah.
They're battery-powered cars, dude.
Yeah, they're not exclusive to technology.
While many drivers feel confident transitioning, I hate that word, to an EV, our research shows there can still be a learning curve when it comes to understanding some of the unique features and requirements that come with driving an EV. We're hoping these findings help encourage drivers to take the time to familiarise themselves with how their vehicle operates. Good tip, dude.
Right.
From charging and battery management to features like regenerative braking and instant acceleration, confidence is an important first step, and building knowledge and experience behind the wheel is what helps Australians get the most out of their EV safety. Like that poetry. Wow. Hemingway couldn't have done it better. There's a list of tips in here that are just as good. And then I was gutted when I read the following caveat after the word ends. No. You know you're not supposed to keep reading when it says ends.
Yeah.
The ends is there for a reason.
It's like finish.
About the research. This study was conducted by Pure Profile on behalf of Allianz from the 13th to the 17th of July, surveying 1,096 Australian motorists aged over 18 years. Of which 178 are EV drivers and 918 are non-EV drivers currently. A nationally representative of age, gender and location. So these opinions and this whole nothing burger of a story are based on the random opinions of 178 EV fucking drivers.
Wow.
And it's just so Mr. Wood gets his quotes into the media. And I hope we've done that justice, because I really want this acknowledged for what it is. Every time you see these stories about 38% of people are terrified that the sky might fucking fall in tomorrow, they've had some research company ring up 3 people and they say, "Hey, Trev, got a sec? How do you feel about the sky falling in tomorrow?" And Trev goes, "I'm terrified, dude."
Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah, like how are the questions asked? Like, how are they posed to these people?
But it's 178 people. We sell 1.2 million motor vehicles a year in Australia, and we asked 178 EV drivers how they felt. And some of them said, "Oh, I'm a bit scared of that instant acceleration." Really?
How many? How many? So what was the percentage of 100? Let's work that out.
Some fuck all percentage.
Wasn't one was like 18%?
Feeling nervous driving around pedestrians and cyclists due to the quieter operations were 42%. So
okay. What's that?
That's about 70 people. Right. Feeling concerned about adjusting to instant acceleration was 35%, so about a third. So 60 people said, "Oh, I'm concerned about how well they go. They're too fast for me," kind of thing. Touchscreen distractions were 21%, so about 1 in 5. That's bloody 35 people or something. Like, please.
Come on.
This is the marketing department of a major insurance company, and we all hate insurers, right? They sit around, they go, "How can we get ourselves in the news?"
Yeah.
Right? Our mates in the media will report this. We advertise with them. We'll get their Pure Profile. Pure Profile can just ring up some shithead who doesn't have a job, and we'll get some responses. And like Jesus,
it screams someone's job at Allianz is to justify their job at Allianz. They don't actually have a job. They just have...
job justification is the job.
Yeah. I just need to make sure that I'm still relevant.
Yeah.
I better do one thing a month to make sure that my role here is still relevant.
The Get Allianz in the News manager did this.
God, it's just depressing,
How
isn't it?
vacuous. This is why extraterrestrial life remains cloaked in geosynchronous freaking orbit. They come down and they do all the probing, but do they reveal themselves? No. This is freaking why. It's the enshittification of information.
And it just happens over and over and over again.
And now we get all of this being reported by dogshit dumb journos, because the media is complicit in this, right? Because the way the media works, they employ the lowest rent journalists to just produce news, because news is cheap, right? Yeah. This is news, dude. It's like 40% of people are terrified of EV acceleration and quietness, you know?
Yeah, it's also scary in terms of, how these, depending on what media outlet you've seen any of these sorts of reports from, I think it's also important to go, well, hang on, who's the target demographic for that particular news agency? Who's financing and who owns that news agency? And where on the spectrum are they leaning towards? Because it's something I see with my folks all the time. Dad's 81, and some of the news reports he gets that he tells me about, I'm like, oh my God. And it's there's one thing to come up with bullshit like this, direct from the source, like that's rubbish. But then the journos at whatever particular news agency get their grubby little hands on it and twist it and turn it.
So here's an example of how I see that working, right? You say, this percentage of people, whatever it was, who are concerned about how silent freaking EVs are, 42%, right? And this leads to the widespread perception that you can hear about every Friday night at the pub while people are working out their frustration with their boss kind of thing. They're talking about issues of this nature, like the epidemic of pedestrian death that flows from EVs because they're silent but deadly. There's nothing in the domain of facts here. There's no evidence that pedestrians are getting cleaned up. There's no evidence of increased danger from EVs or any of that nature. This is just a few punters who answered a telephone survey that said that was concerning to them. It's like the feelings... It's the reportage of random feelings.
It's also, okay, so if they're answering a random phone call, no offence, I don't want to be ageist here.
Probably don't have a job.
I don't know anyone under 40 that just answers an unknown number. Yeah. Like, again, my folks do.
If someone rings me and says, hey, we're from Pure whatever, and we'd like to talk to you about your feelings about EVs, I'd say, get someone else.
Yeah.
I don't want that job. Come on.
It's also scary how these sorts of stories can grab hold as well. I recently had a new Honda Prelude for a few weeks. But to drive, fantastic. But again, you read through the comments and all the owners groups and all the the different car subreddits and whatnot, and people are tearing it to shreds. People that have never driven it and have never had any experience. But because I think those initial reports out were like, it's got a hybrid and it doesn't put out 1,000 horsepower. It's shit. Well, people jump on the bandwagon and believe it.
Of this 1,096 Australian motorists who were polled, 918 of them were non-EV drivers.
Oh my God!
Like, come on.
Yeah.
But at least they were nationally representative of age, gender, and location.
Well, what does that mean?
How many they-thems were there?
Yeah.
That's what,
Basically, if you're watching or listening, don't believe any of this shit.
Anything you hear in the media is shit.
Yeah, don't, especially around anything. I don't care if it's road safety or if it's EV efficiencies or any of that. Just there's hidden agendas behind it all.
Most of the car shit, like if you're a car dude, you look at a lot of car websites, you read a lot of car news. A lot of car news is just regurgitated shit like this so that the publisher can run an ad or a series of 8 ads on the page that exists to host this alleged news. Yeah. Right?
They need content for SEO as well.
Yeah.
They just need content. You're going to have to feed the beast all the time. So heaven forbid you don't put a press release out every single week.
Oh, this comes packaged. It's like wrapped in suspenders with it's just fantastic.
Crazy.
I think we've done it.
I think, that was a good one.
I don't know about that. Well, it's probably better for others to judge. We could get Pure Profile to ring 1,000 people and say, what sort of a job do you reckon Adam and John did on episode 24 of the pod?
We should look into that.
Yeah, it'd be
I
great.
I wonder what it would cost to get on a specific episode
Maybe,
or a specific topic we mentioned.
72% of those surveyed said John makes Adam look very young.
Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments what you think. How are we doing?
Yeah,
Is there
yeah.
anywhere we can improve? Any constructive criticism?
Yeah, I just want to hear what you think of us. What do you think of me, and what do you think he thinks of me? Let us know. Questions at autouncovered.com.au.
Took the words out of my mouth. I nearly knocked something over. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I'll
It'll recover.
I'll see you next week, mate.
Righto, mate.
Done.